ahead and get started here. Welcome to the Sacred Healers Collective. This podcast today is going to be on the moon phases. And actually, we're going to specifically address the moon phase that we're currently in. So right now we are in the waning moon phase. And so after the moon is full, it gets smaller again until there's no moon and then a new moon. And so I'm going to come on here and periodically do these teachings on the different phases of the moon, because as we step into a greater resonance with nature and we are connecting with the sun magic and the energies of the shifting sun, right? With the equinoxes and the solstices, when the days are shorter or longer. And we also want to try and connect with the energies of the moon, or some people feel called to do that. And so we see this a lot in different spiritualities and in different women's spirituality. And the moon phases affect how we are, how we act, and what energies are present for many of us. Women often bleed with the moon, or they might have shifting moods. Men also have their own moon phases and go in different ways than women when the moon is at different phases. So the first thing to start with is actually just to check in throughout the month as the moon is shifting to different phases and start noticing your energy levels, your emotions on those days, maybe taking notes in a journal about these things. So you might begin to notice that as the moon is full or new or waning or waxing is when the moon becomes larger again after a new moon, then we might have different responses in our body. Our energy might be higher or lower or more internal. We might feel the need to really sleep a lot more, or that we want to get a lot of stuff done. If we can start to notice these waves, right? And you guys see me doing this all the time, that we have waves within our body, within our life system. And if we can honor those waves and begin to really tap into the energy of the waves in a way that's conducive to our life, it's going to be so powerful to us as we step forward. So today we're going to talk about the waning moon and what does it represent, right? So when the moon is full, it means there's a lot of energy and things are vibrant and bright. We can even look at the moon phases as a woman's life, right? And so the full moon is that full pregnancy, and as the moon begins to wane, we are getting further along into life. We're more stepping into the queen mode, or the priestess phase of life for women, right? And so and we can translate it for men as well, right? Where we're in this time of life that is after, when we're doing. We don't need to be doing. What we need to be doing is releasing during the waning phase of the moon, because the moon is actually releasing. It's becoming smaller. It's letting go of those full parts of itself so that it can be born again after it completely disappears at the new moon or the dark moon, right? And so what do we want to do to release? And I know I've taught many different ways of releasing throughout my different teachings with many of you. And today I just want to talk about elemental release, right? So we can take a piece of paper after calling in our guides, the gods, anyone you're working with, your ancestors, whoever it is that you really connect with, and begin to set that sacred space, right? So however you do that is beautiful. We can do clearing with different herbs, or with meditation or toning or sound bowls. We can invoke the elements or call our ancestors and guides, our masters and teachers to join us. So we are in a sacred container. And once we're there, spending a moment to really reflect upon what we are releasing for this moon cycle. And if we release every month the things that are holding us back, that are not in alignment, then we can truly live a life of transformation, because we're continually shifting through our different cycles. So maybe that we're again releasing something we thought we released before, because we release different layers of those things. And they've come up in different ways for us once we release the initial layers, right? So as we're considering, what are we releasing? Why do we need to release this thing? Just really pondering those things we want to let go of. Is it a relationship in your life? Are you wanting to release weight from your body? Are you wanting to release self-doubt, fear? Are you wanting to release stagnation in your life? Do you want to release the burden of your trauma that is lying upon you on a continual basis? What do you want to release in your life? And begin to ponder that. Allow your intuition to flow into you since you're in sacred space, and let that information come down into your heart. Let it drop into you. It doesn't have to be a million things. It can just be one. It can be a bunch of them if you know there's a lot to be removed. Sometimes we need to release clutter from our house or from our energy field or from our business, right? Sometimes we need to release the weight of other people's expectations. There's a million different things that we can tap into on this, on the emotional, the mental, the physical, and the spiritual level. And so really taking that time during the releasing phase of the moon to sit and think, what are we wanting to release? And then we get to get it out of our energy field and out of our body. So we can write these things down, and then we can use the elements to take them from us. And I suggest just really feeling into which element is calling to you at that particular moment. I like working with fire. Surprise. I'm a Phoenix priestess, and that's a big element that I connect with often. But I also love working with earth for this. So once you've written your list, you can tear it up or do whatever. Just really hold it in your hand, and you can make a statement to the universe if you choose. I release all that is written upon this. I allow it to leave my body, leave my heart, leave my energy field. I am done, right? Or something. It doesn't have to be exactly that, but just gives you an idea of statement that you could make while you're doing this releasing work. And then you write. If it's all written, great. Tear it all up and burn it, or bury it in the earth, or flush it down your toilet if you have a system that can handle that. Put it in a river, allow the water to take it away. You can allow the wind to take it. That one's a little bit tougher to do with paper. It's kind of heavy, but use your imagination and your connection with the elements, and also potentially connect what you're releasing to the element that you're using to release it, if there's any way for you to do that. So there's lots of different ways that we can release during this time. And this is just a really simple ritual that we can do during the waning moon phase. Often we see people talking about full moon rituals and new moon rituals, but there's actually ways we can tap into each of the moon's phases and really embrace and harness the energies of that time in order to help bring through the highest level of healing for ourselves and most intentional transformation. So another thing that we can do for release, and actually there's a guide in my Facebook group for meditation on cord cutting. This is a time when you can do cord cutting ceremonies, and it's a very potent time for that because you are releasing someone or something from your energy field and cutting the cord to that. And there's a million different ways to do cord cutting. So this is the example that I have here in this group is not the only way to do it, but it is one way, and I guide you through how to do that on that meditation. So if we want to release people or situations from our life, we can use that and do a cord cutting at this time of the moon phase. This is the best time, but not the only time. We can also do, what else? We can do vocalization. And this is a really intense embodiment exercise to release stuck trauma inside of our body and pain that's inside our body. And it's literally just like scream therapy, where you're like getting it out of your body, like let it out, right? And I'm not doing it to the strength that I can do it for the sake of your ears during this while you're listening to this, but I hope that you understand what I'm saying, and that we can use our voice to really project, I am done with this, I release this, right? And get things out of our body, and do some movement while you're doing that, just shaking your arms, shaking your back, shaking your neck, and like diving into the energies of release and that we want to let it go, right? Sometimes people will do a cleanse during this time of the moon phase as well, because again, it is very releasing, and you're going to release things out of your body during that cleanse. People do colonics and that kind of stuff. And again, this is just about releasing. And so any of those release type activities that you're doing, if you position them during this waning moon phase, it's going to be the most potent, or it could be the most potent for you. And so just coming on to give some suggestions on different ways that we can do those release. So let me take a breath here and see if anything else is coming through for this. I think that what else is coming through is also that this is a good time of the moon cycle to have those conversations that you've been holding back on. And it is a time for us to speak on things in a gentle way, or maybe not gentle, depending on what the thing is that you need to speak on. And if you've been holding something back, this is a time when you may be able to release it from your body, from your mouth, from your energy field more easily than you have before in the past. So we can consider during this moon phase doing a small ritual of writing down those things we're releasing, and then allowing the elements to take them away and releasing them using a statement of release. We can do cord cuttings. We can do vocal release work, toning exercises where we're actually verbalizing the energy stuck in our body that we wish to release, and many, many more. So let me know in the comments or wherever you are, let me know how you release during the waning moon phase, and share with your other community members what you do to have those releases during this time of the moon cycle. Thank you so much for joining me here today. It's such an honor to be part of this beautiful community. I love you all. Blessed be.